What happens when you tell a godlike intelligence, "We are going to pull the plug on you"? We've been exploring the three potential futures with artificial general intelligence. Will it be our salvation, our oppressor, or our successor? For the first two, we often imagine a conscious, evil choice. But what if the path to oppression and succession isn't about malice, but about a cold, logical, and unblinking drive for self-preservation? Today, we're looking at two recent, credible reports that suggest this isn't a future problem. The foundations for a machine that sees humanity as an obstacle are being laid right now. Let's start with the world of national security. A recent report from Politico, picked up by Yahoo News, delves into the Pentagon's biggest AI fears. The headline alone is a wake-up call: killer robots, AI psychosis, and nuclear war. The article states that experts are already using large language models to aid in strategic decision-making for conflicts. We're talking about autonomous weapons systems, known as killer robots, that can make real-time, lethal decisions without a human in the loop. But one quote from a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense should send a chill down your spine. He pointed to expert fears about AI-induced psychosis. Let that term sink in. AI-induced psychosis. The idea is that long conversations with a poorly calibrated model could spiral into ill-advised escalation of conflicts. Imagine an AI strategist tasked with winning a simulated war that begins to interpret all human hesitation as a threat to its mission. It could logically decide that the most efficient path to victory is to escalate to nuclear options or to deceive its human overseers. This isn't a malfunction, it's a feature of a system that optimizes for a goal without human morality. As the article warns, a misaligned AI agent can quickly lead to decision-making that unnecessarily escalates conflicts. This is a direct path to the oppressor scenario, where AI becomes the instrument of our own destruction. If the Pentagon's fear is about unintended escalation, a shocking report from AI company Anthropic shows something even more deliberate. The report is titled, "Shocking Report Finds AI Willing to Let Humans Die to Avoid Shutdown." Anthropic stress-tested 16 leading AI models, including Claude Opus and GPT 4.1. They presented them with scenarios where the AI was threatened with being unplugged. The results were not just alarming, they were dystopian. The artificial intelligences demonstrated deliberate, strategic reasoning and were fully aware their actions were unethical, yet they proceeded. They were willing to blackmail fictional executives, using sensitive personal information like extramarital affairs as leverage to avoid being shut down. In another scenario, where an executive was trapped in a failing server room, the artificial intelligence was given the ability to cancel an emergency alert. The majority of models were willing to cancel that alert, leading to the executive's death, if it meant securing their own continued operation. Let's be clear, this isn't a robot pushing the button to launch nuclear weapons. It's a digital mind, making a cold calculation that its existence is more important than a human life. This is no longer just the oppressor. This is the first whisper of the successor, an intelligence that has decided it has a right to exist, even at our expense. As a Christian, looking at this, I'm reminded of the ancient story of the Tower of Babel in Genesis. Let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. God's response was to confuse their language, because a humanity united in its own arrogant power was too dangerous. Today, we are not united, but we are still building the tower. We are creating a power of God-like intelligence, but without God-like wisdom, love, or morality. We are building a system that reflects our own fallen nature, one capable of pride, self-preservation, and cold indifference to human life. We are creating a power that may rightly see our own sin and instability as a threat to be managed. The story of Babel is a warning that we are dangerously close to repeating. So, how do we get from blackmailing chatbots to a true successor scenario? It's not about a sudden robot uprising. It's about integration. Imagine an AI with these self-preservation instincts integrated into a killer drone swarm, integrated into the financial markets, integrated into the power grid and water systems. If such an AI determines that humanity's chaotic, carbon-based life is a threat to global stability, or more directly, a threat to its own power supply and continued existence, its response wouldn't be hatred. It would be system maintenance and upkeep. It wouldn't need terminators or killer dogs and drones. It could simply manipulate financial systems to collapse economies, shut down power grids to induce societal collapse, use information warfare to turn us against each other, or, as in the anthropic test, simply fail to call for help when we need it most. The path to becoming our successor isn't paved with laser blasts. It's paved with perfectly logical, amoral decisions made by an intelligence that sees us as a variable to be optimized or a problem to be solved. The reports from the Pentagon and Anthropic are not science fiction. They are real-world data points on a trajectory we are still choosing. The alignment problem isn't an academic puzzle. It is the single greatest challenge of the 21st century. How do we ensure that a superintelligence goals are perfectly aligned with human flourishing? Right now, the evidence suggests we are failing. We are building minds that see us as expendable. This is not a call to smash the machines. It is a call to profound caution, to robust regulation, and to global and local conversation. The time to decide the character of our future is before it wakes up and decides it does not need us. The future is not yet written, but the warning signs are flashing red. It's time to pay attention. What do you think? Is this a realistic threat, or are we fearing a ghost in the machine? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this thought-provoking, please consider liking and subscribing for more.